been so overwhelming to see all of you. It's beyond my expectation.
Yeah!
And thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I want to introduce you my son Sunil. His wife Sarah could not make it. She is working. She's an ER doctor in DC. And this is my daughter Sunita. She's in the IT field. And I'm really overwhelmed. These are my new neighbors, come from Northern Virginia. They're 2 doors down from me. They're already eager to take me away from this place. Thank you, Darrell. Thank you, Iris. I make friends easily, but I never knew that I could make friends this fast until I went to Iceland 3 weeks ago. And I connected to this guy, Jerome. We were doing shots on the beach on the North Atlantic in 20-degree cold weather. Cold didn't bother us. Yeah, and we did the Blue Lagoon with mask on our face. So we had so much fun. And I told him I'm retiring, and he said, "Can I come to your party?" I said, "Come on, Jerome, more the merrier." So here he is. Thank you, Jerome. Cheers.
Cheers.
And all the friends that I have in Chester community, I can't thank you enough for showing up. And all my SRMC family, it's really so emotional to see you all in one place. I never thought I could get such a great send-off. But I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And I ask Shirley. Shirley is the labor and delivery manager. Where is she? She's been part of my life for 37 years. I delivered her son 37 years ago. And she tells me he looks like me, and I said, "No, I'm not guilty." I wasn't even in Petersburg when she conceived, so I can't be the... So I told her, like, "No, he can't get child support from me." I love you, Shirley. She's going to say a prayer for me and for all of us.
Father God, we're so grateful to be here tonight. We're so thankful for the life of Dr. Rao. We're so grateful for the things that he's done in this community and around the world. Lord, we pray for his retirement. We pray for his health, that he'll have good health and that he'll live a long time and enjoy his retirement. We know, Lord, he certainly deserves it. He's worked a long time helping others. Father, we're so grateful for the friends that he has and the friends that he'll make. We ask that you would be with him and make him into what you want him to be in his retirement, Lord. We ask that you would help us to stay in touch and help us to continue to be a part of his life and for him to be a part of ours. Father, we ask that you would be with him, that he will continue to grow close to you, Lord, and that he will continue to enjoy life as he has in the past. And we ask now, Father, that you would be with him as he travels about the world, because we know that's his desire, Lord, and that everywhere he goes, he'll make friends and he will enjoy living. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
One more thing with Shirley is she got me involved with medical mission trips 20-some years ago, and I thank you for that. And I will rejoin your mission trips very soon. And I have had so many miracles over the last 38 years of my career. But few miracles really give me goosebumps and Holy Grail moments until this young man showed up in my face 3 years ago. Come on up here, Andy. Andy started in the operating room 2 or 3 years ago, and one day I was at the nurse's station and he comes up to me and says, "Dr. Rao, my name is Andy. My mom wanted me to say hello to you." And I said, "Who's your mom?" And he said, "My mom is Lisa Stables." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you saved my life 28 years ago. I said, how come? Well, my mom came in with an abruption and you did an emergency C-section and here I am. That was my holy grail moment. And I said, oh my God. I know I saved a lot of children, but no child came to me and said, you saved my life. So this is the first child that ever came to me. He's going to be 30-some years old.
30 years old. This 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks.
Yeah, December 1st.
Yes.
Lisa, come on up here, please. So this wonderful lady raised this young man. He was a premature baby and was in VCU, NICU. And here he is. He's a beautiful, wonderful addition to SRNC family. And he works in the operating room. I have never met such a wonderful guy. And he does medical mission trips like I do. And one of these days, I'm going to go on a trip with him. It's nice knowing you both.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to know you and to take care of Andy.
Thank you for your knowledge. You saved us.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
I have a couple of my partners here. All of them could not make it, but Paul, come on up here. Stay.
Can't go up there without my wine.
I had the privilege of working with Paul Myers for the past 7 years, and it's going to be tough leaving my associates, but life will go on. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for your association.
Krishna, thank you. Literally, if it wasn't for you and you deciding that you wanted to bring your practice into the hospital, I wouldn't be here. I would be somewhere else. I wouldn't be with Colette. I wouldn't have met all of the people in this room if it weren't for you. And you know, when I sat down and over the last few weeks, I've thought about what you've meant in my life. You and I have never seen we don't see eye to eye all the time. Not that we never see eye to eye. There are things we disagree about.
It's all good, brother.
But it's all good. You know, I have to say that I've learned a lot from you, and I have to hold my glass up and toast you from one pain in the ass to another. I really mean that.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Troublemaker.
Come on up, Daphne. Daphne Bazil Harrison joined us 5 years ago? Almost four? Yeah, she was a wonderful addition from Howard University in DC. Southside Regional is lucky to have her, and patients love her to death. So she got busy from day one. So thank you, Daphne. Thank you for knowing you. We'll keep in touch.
Of course. It's my operating buddy, if anybody knows. And I owe him, I don't know how many massages, because when I have those procedures in the OR, he's there, twisting his back, bending his back for me. So he's always telling you, yeah, you're going to pay for my massages. But I am
I'm still waiting.
I'm very thankful for Krishna and our similar operating styles, as he has said.
And her son and I share birthdays.
Yes. And a message, so when I told my son, Cam, that I was going to Dr. Rao's retirement party, he said, what? I was like, Dr. Rao's retiring. He's not that old. He can't retire. So your birthday party says
wonderful
you
comment.
can't retire.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell him I love him. Miguel. Miguel Vega Gallerini, our newest addition to Southside Regional OBGYN group. It's so nice having you on board. So all these years I had second thoughts about retiring because I have some patients here that have been with me 30 some years. So they always tell me, you can never retire until you find a perfect replacement for you. They actually never said that, but I said, I will make sure I'll put you in good hands before I call it quits. So here Miguel appeared in our doorstep about 4 or 5 months ago.
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Just
So I can confidently now tell all my patients, this is the guy that I'm endorsing you to. Good luck. And I told them, if you're not getting Class A treatment, let me know. I'll call him and make sure you do.
I am so proud. I am so happy. It's been a real honor to be able to meet this excellent gentleman, and I'm sure I'm not gonna let you down. Okay, so you can count on that. Okay.
Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you. Thank you for your friendship. I really thank you. You're like a father to me. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Being in solo practice for almost 32 years, my patients are attached to me so badly that I could never take a day off. There have been years my children still blame me for not being there when they were growing up. I plead guilty because I always put patient care first before my own obligations. So that's probably why they tell me, you were never there when I was going for my soccer games. My response to them is, well, you don't have any student loans when you finish college. So that's all I can say to my kids. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you, Miguel. And the most important person and the most person I'm really grateful and thankful to have in my life is my nurse, Karen. Karen, where are you? So, I hired Karen in 1994, March 21st. That's her date of birth, I believe.
It is. I started work for you March 21st.
Right out of nursing school. She was so introvert and so shy. For almost a year, she would never even look me in the eye. Whenever I'm talking to her, she's looking at the ceiling and looking at the... I used to wonder, what am I doing to her? Am I doing something to her that she won't look me in the eye? So now, after all these years,
I tell him what to do.
yeah, patients ask me, is she your wife? Yes, she might as well be, because she's my work wife. So I could never function without her in the office.
Because he doesn't know his passwords.
I mean, she never calls in sick. Never, never. If I'm there, she's there. Only time she takes time off is when I'm on vacation. Otherwise, she's always there. So you can.
Thank you, Remy. Answering his phone calls.
She even called me a few years ago. I was in Italy on vacation, and she calls me and says, so-and-so patient showed up, what do you want me to do? You know? So I was practicing medicine from Italy and India. So you've been a wonderful part of my life, and I thank you for your service.
Well, I learned a lot. You know, he called the nursing school while I was in nursing school, and he wanted a new nurse. And Miss Magnan.
Yeah,
Miss Magnan
Barbara
sent-
Mangum, yeah.
Sent me for an interview. And at the interview, Dr. Al said he was looking for somebody that would stay with him till he retired. And I did.
I need to say something about OBGYN.
But you know, wait, but he'll never get his money out of the bank because they're going to tell him that's not his signature.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
she signs my checkbook.
Hey, look, I sign off and make sure you get your paycheck each week too.
That's why I've been getting these weird checks.
So the thing is, it's not only Karen, her whole family. I know her whole family.
Yeah, he didn't realize when he hired me, he got the whole family. The whole family. It's a package deal.
So the OBGYN life in Petersburg is like a soap opera. We used to have individual practitioners and small groups, and everybody breaks up with somebody, and somebody gets in touch with somebody, and they break up, and then they break up with somebody, and so I've been in and out of breakup for 4 to 5 times in my career. So every time I end up being alone, I needed an office manager. And they said, "Oh, my sister can work for
Yeah, I'll
you."
hire Tracy. Come on, Tracy.
Come on, Tracy.
We hired Tracy, and she did all of his party planning. And then when I needed a medical center, we hired Rennie.
So Tracy has been a wonderful addition to my life. About 20 years ago, I delivered her son, what, 35 years now?
34.
Alex.
I don't know.
34.
Yeah.
30.
He'll be 34 in December.
I met Dr. Rao on December 26, 1985 at 12 o'clock, and he delivered my son at 7:19.
So she's my trusted social director. Anything I need to plan at home for a Christmas party or a July 4th party. So she's the party planner. I give her the credit card and she takes care of the rest.
I know how to spend it.
Thank you, Tracy.
He used to always tell me that I make him look good, but he's always been there for my family, and we couldn't want him more.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. You know, the most valuable thing. You know, the most valuable thing I always believed in was physician-patient relationship. I never want to take it for granted. I always thought it was a sacred relationship. And I have a few patients that really stick in my mind. Like here, Joe Hare. Come on up here, Joe. Charlie. I call them my first family because I delivered 3 of their kids. Come on, Charlie. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. She's always believed in me. I delivered 3 of their children, and I delivered 7 of their grandchildren. It never happens. It seldom happens. Even her son brought his wife to me because usually the girl's mother decides where the OB/GYN is going to be. But somehow, in this family, I was able to deliver all 7 of their grandchildren. Thank you for knowing you. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, guys.
I'm bringing a present to your house.
Come on up here, guys. Misty. I know I have a lot of patients. I couldn't invite everybody, but I invited a few of them. So I wanted them to celebrate my final days. And this woman calls me yesterday and says, I have an appointment to see you next week. I said, sorry, not anymore. I got the pink slip as of Thursday evening. So she said, I got to see you. I'll come to the party.
That's right.
So here they are. Thank you for coming, Alexis.
Thank you for
Misty. Don't make me cry. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you for years of putting up with us.
The reason I really ended up in Petersburg is because Dr. Reddy, come on up here. Would you, please.
Everybody take a bow.
So, come on up, Jagger. Please. Please. So when I was finishing up my residency training up in Brooklyn, New York, I got a call from one of my cousins who was a resident in VCU. He said, do you have any plans? Do you know where you're going to go to practice? And I said, I have no clue. And I was already trying to find some recruiters and stuff, but he said, well, there is an OBGYN doctor in Petersburg looking for an associate. Do you mind if I give your number to her? And I said, no, absolutely not. So the next thing I know, I was in Petersburg interviewing, and I got the job. That's how I ended up in Petersburg. And the nurses in New York used to make fun of me. Oh, that Petersburg. Right after you pass Richmond, there's a stinky place there. So they used to make fun of me and say, so we're going to see science there, 2-for-1 C-sections, get a friend and get a free Pepsi beer. So here I am after 38 years of being in Petersburg. I'm ready to say goodbye and good luck. And God bless you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Wonderful. Carry
Well, I need to say one thing. We received him when he came to the town. Now I'm sending him goodbye. But same time, I'm receiving him in DC.
Yeah, we're going to be neighbors, 30 minutes away from each other. So they live in McLean. All right, if anybody wants to speak, come on up and say. Your daughter wants to speak. Okay. My daughter wants to say something.
Just a few words. So, Dad, wow, I'm so incredibly proud of your career. From your drive and intelligence that led you to be a top ranker in the village schools, to your journey of becoming a doctor, which no one in your family has. Coming from an agricultural background, you've made us very proud. You graduated with some of your best friends from a coastal village in India, and they continue to be some of your best friends, and you're so grateful and you get to spend so much time with them traveling. He has a cruise planned with them in April, so he has some things to look forward to. He'll miss his patients, but he has a lot coming up. So after you graduated, you left this coastal town, and here you are landing in New York City with one of his cousins picking him up, and I'll never forget, he said he had $7 in his pocket, and he ate something that was called frozen pizza. He doesn't even know if it was warmed up fully, and he wondered, why did I leave my village and my mother? Why am I here? So after that, he kind of got accustomed to life in America, working as a resident, working long hours, and navigated this new life. Thanks to Vijayanti, he landed in Petersburg, and a wonderful community in Chester that we've made over the years. We're so grateful for all of your love and support, as well as, of course, all the nurses and physicians at the hospital that, you know, take such good care of him. And Karen and Tracy, I have to give a special shout out to you guys. My dad couldn't have gotten through these 38 years if it weren't for you guys, so thank you so much. So Dad's passion for his patients has allowed him to bring over 6,000 babies into this world, for which we're very, very grateful. It's unparalleled, and that fueled him to continue doing OB throughout his 38 years, where many obstetricians give up the OB, just do GYN, but he just couldn't say no to these wonderful patients that we've met tonight. This devotion, I think, is an extension of the devotion that his family showed him growing up in India.
Keep it together.
His lovely mom and dad, they love you. So they did so much for him as a kid and for us as a family once we moved to the U.S., for which we're forever grateful. Dad, we're grateful for your hard work, your love, and support of our family. We love you and appreciate everything you've done for us. You deserve all of the joy and relaxation life has to offer you during your retirement, and we know that you're going to make the most of it, as Jerome can attest to. And as Jerome has suggested, we really think you should take up golf. I think that'll really be a great hobby. And I'll come along for some trips with Jerome, and we'll travel the world and do some golf courses together. I can't wait for our continued experiences traveling and spending time in nature and hiking with you. Congratulations, and I wish you all of the best in this new season of your life. I love you.
All right, my turn. All right. So those of you who were at my wedding, there's a reason why I gave my dad 2.5 minutes maximum to speak. Just a little bit. And this is the first party I came to with some of these, right? This is a new one. But I just want to say thank you all for coming. This is a lot of fun tonight. I haven't met everyone, of course, but it's great to see all these faces. I'm not trying to be political, but it really does take a village to take care of this person. And
Yes, I'm needy.
so over the 40 years that I've lived in this area, and Dad started practicing and stuff, you guys are all involved, whether it's the local Indian community or whether it's the hospital community or the patients or everyone else around here. You guys have helped make my dad as happy as he could be to now finally retire, and I don't know what he's going to do now because he doesn't have all of you guys to socialize with, and now he's going to come bug us in DC. But I think there's a lot of love in this room, and I think that's something we should all continue to practice in life. And I really am thankful for all of you, even though I don't know all of you, but I really am thankful for you. And and so I just wanted to say cheers to my dad, who has deserved this retirement and has worked very hard for both my sister and I, and the rest of the family and everyone else. And so I really want to say, cheers to my dad. Thanks, Dad, for all.
Well, a couple of things I forgot to mention. I really...
See, the 2.5 minutes was really...
This is my party, so... I paid for this party, so I get to speak whatever I want, how long ever I want.
Troublemaker to the end.
So at his wedding, I had so many restrictions. Dad, you can't do this. Dad, you can't do that. So I'm glad I could do anything I want tonight. I really forgot to mention my parents. They come from a very low middle class family, farming community. I don't know how I ended up in medical school. I mean, none of my extended family finished high school. My own two sisters, I have two older sisters, they never finished 5th grade. They can barely read and write. But somehow, when I was 11, 12 years old, I lost a good friend of mine to tetanus. He died. I saw him die. That sparked some thing in my head, and I said, no, my God, how can 11-year-old die? So that's what motivated me to go to medical school. So I used to tell my mom, I want to be a doctor. And she used to say, oh, you never be a doctor. Nobody finished college in this family. So I got always accused of not being helpful to my dad in his farming because I hated farming. I never went to the farm. So somehow fate took me to medical school. Somehow I ended up in New York City. And the only thing I'm going to say finally is I felt like Crocodile Dundee when I landed in New York. You probably saw that movie Crocodile Dundee from Australia. So that's what I felt like when I first landed in New York City in March of 1976. I said, oh my God, why did I come here? It was a very, very bad winter and I had no proper shoes to wear. I did not have a proper jacket to wear, so I was out roaming the streets of New York looking for a job in this freezing weather. So it was true. I always said, oh my God, why did I come here? Totally different culture, totally different food, totally different weather. How did I end up here? But 40 years later, I'm happy I'm a US citizen and I'm happy to be living in this country. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you. Aww.